You're looking at an African civilization. But we need to know that Great Zimbabwe grew over time. The building of such a structure required skill, it required the mobilization of resources, it required cohesion within society. People who could work together and put their resources together to be able to come up with such an imposing structure. We have the hill complex, the valley complex, and the great enclosure. It's the largest man-made structure you would find in medieval sub-Saharan Africa. The walling itself were areas which were settled by the elite, especially on the hill complex. It's highly symbolic within the Shona worldview. The hill is associated with authority. We expect that that is where one of the kings of the Mambo used to stay.
In a partnership with the World Monuments Fund, we are bound to conserve and manage the site for not only the people of Zimbabwe, but also for humanity as a whole. But we don't have any photographs, we don't have any notes, we don't have any information about what the walls looked like when our ancestors were actually still living here. There are a number of challenges that affect the dry stone walls. There is no binding medium, such as mortar, that is holding the blocks together. The blocks are just placed one on top of each other so that it becomes a compact unit.
Cemented walls, they can easily split. But the advantage of dry stone walls, the earth moves. But when the earth moves, the walls can also move.
We do rely very much on the stone masonry team that we have at Great Zimbabwe. They are responsible for the general monitoring that takes place at the sites in terms of which sites we need to conserve and how we conserve them, which sites need to be restored and how we restore them.
For now, we are digging to see where we need to correct the problem such that it won't fall again.
The lantana flower has run out of control. Lantana is not indigenous to Southern Africa. It actually came into the country some time back during the colonial period. It has got a root system that starts to dislocate the stone blocks, which can result in the collapse of the walls. It's only after we finished excavating then that we can start to rebuild.
It's a generation to generation. It's like I learned those two stones from my father. Can able to look after the stones.
You don't find the dry stone technology being applied in modern day construction. The skills are actually now getting very rare. So the intangible heritage of the site is also being perpetuated. Because this is an archaeological site, people lived here. We also do collect whatever material culture that we can come across, pottery, faunal material, glass beads.
This is part of clay pots, pottery.
We have come across various metals, particularly iron and copper around the site.
It is a demonstration of the kind of society at Great Zimbabwe. it implies high levels of social, political, and economic organization. One of the biggest challenges that we have had with the interpretation of Great Zimbabwe is the problem of prejudice. There was this general perception that you would not have this kind of civilization in Africa. So during the colonial period, most of the official narrative had to adopt the idea that Great Zimbabwe was of foreign origin. That is what you'd find in the museums, in the official textbooks, in schools. I feel privileged because I know the evidence that we have now. It is very clear that the authorship of Great Zimbabwe is very African in terms of design and in terms of the possible functions that we have come up with as archaeologists.
Great Zimbabwe is a source of pride and a major source of identity for the country.
I want this walls to be maintained such that the next generations would come and be able to see this great job which was done by our ancestors. And I will be happy because we are able to maintain them.